Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. CLT Aviation 13 here with another 1 to 400 scale airport update of my Phoenix International Airport. Today's going to be a really exciting video. We have a lot of new airplanes to showcase in today's video. Some American heavies. Hawaiian is making its first appearance to the channel in that NG Models version. A new Alaska. There's just a whole lot of new stuff going on today. Before we get started, I do want to talk about my modified Southwest section layout in terms of increasing the gates for Southwest. Planning on a really big year next year for Southwest model airplanes in the 1 to 400 scale. So things are going to start looking a lot more fuller for Southwest in 2021. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure I accommodated or made the accommodations for enough gates for Southwest. So now I got them up to about 11 gates, as you can see here. If you're looking all the way from that left canyon blue on the far left side of your screen, all the way to Florida 1, that'll probably be the real estate that Southwest will get to utilize at this airport display. It's going to be really good. Just, being able to accommodate all those new 737s that will be coming next year and any other future airplanes that are going to be made in the future. So just a great way to kind of balance out the Southwest hub / the American hub. But I think it's going to look really good. And as always, if you guys are enjoying this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly does help out. And then we'll go ahead and get things rolling. All right, everyone, we'll get things started with this American Airlines A321, which is going to operate flight 507 with service to Charlotte. Moving on down to a Sun Country 737-800. This is lining up on the runway. It's going to make a flight to Minneapolis. This is flight 604. And we have some American Airlines planes just hanging out in the hangar area. Then next up, we got the Spirit Airlines A320 Charlotte. It's going to operate flight 1000 with service to Chicago. And moving on to an American A319. This is the standard wing fence one with nonstop service to San Jose, operating flight 1911. Now to an American 737-800, flight 2339 with service to New York John F. Kennedy. And the Thank You Delta A321, going to operate flight 1765 with service to Minneapolis. And then we have another A321. This is the Frontier version. It's going to do flight 750 with service to Denver. And next up, we have the American Airlines One World 737-800, which is going to operate flight 1107 with service to Portland. It's actually pretty cool because I have all the Alliance 737-800s in the video, so you'll see the Star Alliance pretty shortly. And at some point in today's video, you'll see that Sky Team. So I just realized I was looking down the line here. We got all the Alliance 738, so that's pretty cool. Next up, American Airlines A319, flight 2811 with service to Grand Rapids. And then next up, we'll be heading over to the United 737-800. There's that Star Alliance I was referring to, which is going to do flight 392 with service to Newark. For the next part of the video, we'll start over with the F Concourse. And this is primarily where Delta operates. Also Spirit and Frontier and some other carriers sometimes pop over on this side as well. We'll start with this Delta A321 on the far left of your screen, which is going to do flight 2269 with service to Salt Lake City. And then there's that other Sky Team I was talking about, or that other Alliance 737-800. This is the Sky Team 738. It's going to do flight 677 with service to Seattle. And then one more Delta A321 with service to Detroit, flight 1245. Then we have the Boston Red Sox A320, JetBlue, on pushback, flight 2236 with service to New York John F. Kennedy. And then we will start with our nice little Alaska lineup. So we have the that new Embraer 175, and then we always got to have the Disney in here, and then the standard Embraer 175 at the very end. So we'll start with the Embraer 175 at the very end, which is going to do flight 3312 with service to San Francisco. And then the Disneyland Alaska 739 is obviously going to head to Seattle. It's going to do flight 925. And then last but not least, it's kind of nice having a couple Alaska Embraer 175s now. just because they do multiple routes out of, they do actually a lot of routes out of Phoenix. I mean, they sometimes do Seattle, they go Portland, San Francisco, and then the one we're using for this one is going to go to Everett. That's flight 2237, so they got a nice little variety there. And then I almost skipped this guy right here. This is a Delta A321. We're going to have him arriving from Minneapolis. It's going to head over to one of those empty Delta gates. And then next, we have our United area. So we'll start with that A319, that new livery A319. It's going to do flight 673 with service to Denver. And then that A320 is going to do flight 1976 with service to Houston. And then flight 5880 is that Embraer 175 to San Francisco. And then we'll have the United taxiing in after completing a flight from Los Angeles. This next part of the video will be our pretty hefty section. We've got a lot of American narrow bodies to get through and the majority of our Southwest ones as well. So we'll start with that A319 on the left side of your screen, which is coming in from Kansas City. And then we have this US Airways airplane acting as our Heritage A321, which is going to operate flight 1696 with service to Charlotte. Then we have a couple US Airways Express CRJs, as always acting as American Eagle, of course. We have the CRJ 700, which is going to do flight 3108 with service to Bismarck. And then the CRJ 900 is going to do flight 5990 with service to Fargo. And then on pushback, we have a 737-800, going to do flight 488 with service to St. Louis. And on pushback is another A319, and it's going to operate flight 509 with service to Spokane. And next up, we have the America West Retro, and then an American A321 Sharklet. The Retro is going to do flight 399 with service to Santa Ana, and then the other A321 is going to do flight 655 with service to Philadelphia. And then we have the TWA 737-800. It's going to operate flight 2054 with service to Miami. And we have the American A320, which is going to do flight 2795 with service to Sacramento. And next up, we have that Canyon Blue Southwest 737-700, which is loading up as flight 4650 with service to Palm Springs. And moving on down, next up will be a lot of 738s, and then we'll have that Florida one at the very end. So two 738s right here. One on the left is operating flight 4862 with service to Oakland, and the one on the right is doing 4536 to San Diego. I'm really excited once we can start filling these up with more planes next year. It's going to look really nice at the very end of this terminal for the Phoenix airport updates. It also helped Fort Lauderdale and some other airports as well, but it's going to look good. And then I'm going to move around real quick. We'll come back to those other planes. I just want to, before I forget, we have the UPS MD-11 to Louisville and the FedEx MD-11 to Memphis. And also, again, just in case I forget, got that American A321 arriving from Charlotte. So, looking cool. Need to start using the stands a little bit more. Canyon Blue Southwest 737-800, flight 3937 to Albuquerque. And then last 737-800 for Southwest, this one is going to do flight 4615 to Chicago Midway. And then again, I always say, but this is actually a really nice like color going on right here with Florida One and then Hawaiian. I obviously did that on purpose, but anyways, Florida One looking really nice. Flight 1920 with service to San Jose del Cabo. We got an American 737-800 vacating the runway after a flight from Chicago. And we have an American A321neo. This guy is loading up for a flight to Kona. Really excited about these next 4 out of 5 planes, all heading to Hawaiian destinations. So it's always kind of fun to get different destinations in. With the December schedule, there's a 777 going to Honolulu now. And then the 787, which is a new airplane I just received, obviously was inserted immediately into the lineup, which is going to do service to Kahului. So really nice to see some nice variation going on here. And then, of course, we got that Hawaiian at the end that you saw there. So, and here's that American Airlines One World 777. Going to operate flight 692 with service to Honolulu. And then we have another new airplane that this is the first time it's making an appearance for an airport video. So really nice to see the 788. This is the original Gemini jet released in 2015. You can tell because it doesn't have that dark gray antenna box on the top. So I prefer this one just because of the color's a lot better. It does have a bit of a wing flex, but still a really great plane. This is doing flight 432 with service to Kahului. And as always, nice to utilize Volaris. I mean, I always like putting them in for my Charlotte airport updates because they are still flying. So, I mean, it's definitely cool to see an international airline, especially like Volaris, kind of, especially a market like Charlotte work. But they have quite a few routes out of Phoenix. I think they do about 3. But I'm going to have this one go to Guadalajara as flight 975 because that was the only one I saw on the schedule on that particular day. So looking really good. And of course, last but not least, I got to get some angles on this Hawaiian. Oh man, this plane was purchased for T5, and I will have some news on T5 soon. I haven't forgot about it. It's just some issues getting a part extended, just a communication issue, and it's just, I'm not sure what's going on. So that's kind of why I haven't really said anything about it. But anyways, this airplane was obviously purchased for T5, and also for Phoenix as well, but it was just, I had this for T5 on mind. This is a great plane. Able to finally utilize this as in an actual airport that's realistic. This is really nice. So this is Hawaiian Airlines Flight 35, and it's going to Honolulu. So with that being said, I'm just pan the camera over here and we will conclude this video. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.